Hello, my friends. So, depending on who you are, this may be a change that you are not happy about or a change you are very excited about, and it's like, it's about darn time. The FTC changed their laws and made them more specific to how influencers work with brands and how they disclose that information to their audience. So, we are going to break down this thing right here, the Disclosures 101 for social media influencers. We're going to talk about these laws, the new laws, like an FBI agent, and we're going to break it down for you right about now. Okay, so we are going to break this down in a 5 W's and an H kind of way. We're gonna go over the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, and the how of this whole thing, so there's no confusion at all, so you know exactly what you're expected to do or what influencers you're watching are expected to do. So let's start with the who. On November 5th of 2019, the FTC released this information. If you're not familiar with the FTC, maybe you're just not familiar or you don't live in the US, this is what they say their job is. The FTC protects consumers by stopping unfair, deceptive, or fraudulent practices in the marketplace. We conduct investigations, sue companies and people that violate the law, develop rules to ensure a vibrant marketplace, and educate consumers and businesses about their rights and responsibilities. It's very important to note that influencers are specifically stated as the ones responsible for following through with this law, not companies, not brands, but individual influencers. When do these go into effect? They go into effect right now. They are already in effect. Where do these go in effect? They go in effect to anyone that is producing content that is targeting anyone in the United States. Why did the FTC do this? And it's really to protect the customer. That's the point. You may have noticed that some influencers have a little bit of difficulty separating their thoughts on a product with their connection with a brand. When they're being paid to talk about a product, you can really tell that they're being paid. But sometimes they neglect to tell you they're being paid to do the review, which is against the law. Also, when someone gets something for free, they don't feel the monetary loss of people that do purchase something, so that can also influence a review. Another reason why this is important is that influencers sometimes, when you make a connection with a brand, you want to keep that connection. Maybe you want to do a collab with them in the future, or maybe you want to just continue getting PR products from them. Maybe you've had great luck getting this PR from this brand and they send it out early, so you're able to get your review or your pictures or whatever out before everybody else because you're on this PR list. So people may not tell the truth because they're afraid of being removed from the PR list. We're afraid of damaging the relationship between them and the brand. And sometimes people just feel like a negative review is just rude, that saying something negative about a product is just disrespectful, which, in my opinion, if they're sending it to you for review, they should expect there might be some positives and negatives, but that's just my opinion. Some people just don't see it that way. Disclosing of brand and influencer relationships allows the viewer to make the decision about whether they think the information being presented in the video is valid or not. If the person doesn't disclose, they're not given that information, it skews everything for the viewer, and that's just not fair. So this is the big section, is what is happening, what is expected, what are the changes. So they're saying that if the person who is creating the content, this is YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok is becoming popular with lots of people now, any platform like that, any social platform, you have to disclose if you have a financial relationship, an employment, a personal relationship, or a family relationship with the brand. So financial is defined as anything of value, not just money. So that includes PR. It includes discounts, it includes affiliate links. Anything that you get of value to mention the product must be disclosed. Another line says, even if you weren't asked to mention the product, you still have to mention you got it in PR. So like if I'm doing a favorites and fails video and I talk about this nail polish by Kathleen Lights, it's on my nails today. This was sent to me in PR. I'm not being paid to talk about it. She didn't tell me to talk about it in this video. It was not agreed ahead of time, but I'm under legal obligation to tell you that I did not pay for this, that she sent this to me. People can't assume that the audience knows the connection. So if Kathleen goes on her video and she's talking about Lights Lacquer and she never mentions that this is her brand, then that is against the new rules. This one really applies to me. It's saying, make sure you do the disclosures, even if you feel like your review is unbiased, which I feel like my reviews are pretty darn unbiased. But I've always given you guys that information, but I need to make sure I definitely do it now. This was really interesting. So tagging a brand, liking a post, pinning a post, I guess like on Pinterest, are considered endorsements. So if I like a post on Twitter from a brand that has sent me PR in the past, I have to disclose that somehow. Like, I don't get that one. I don't see how I can. Like, because if you just hit the thumbs up button, like let's say, we'll just stick with Kathleen. Let's just say that she, post a beautiful picture on Instagram. I have to, if I hit the like button and I leave a comment, say, oh my gosh, Kathleen, I love this picture. I have to say, Kathleen has sent me in PR in the past. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's the way that I'm reading it, is any kind of public interaction you have with a brand, you have to disclose that you have had some kind of monetary or PR gain from them. Crazy, right? I mean, I get it, but that's just a lot. So I have a feeling what's gonna end up happening is there's just gonna be a lot less influencer interaction if people are trying to be careful not to break the law, that there just won't be those posts on, brands that have sent PR before. You just won't get those influencer posts anymore, those influencer shares anymore. They also mentioned, which I think might be a little obvious, but maybe not obvious, if you don't have a relationship with the brand, you don't have to say anything. They also put in a couple of rules that should have been rules from the beginning, but they're specifically stated now. You can't talk about an experience with a product that you haven't tried, which I used to see a long time ago. I don't feel like I've seen that as much now. You have to be honest. If you thought a product was terrible, you can't say that you love it. You have the option to say nothing. You just can't lie about it. This one is really, really sticky because it goes into a lot of area that a lot of influencers don't know about and don't understand. You can't make medical claims about a product that the advertiser doesn't advertise. So let's see. Okay, this is the first product that I found. So I haven't tried this yet, but this was gifted to me by a friend. I don't have to disclose that it was gifted to me by a friend. This was not given to me by the brand. This is the Fourth Ray Beauty Marula Oil. Let's say I have really bad eczema and I use this product and it clears up my eczema. I am not allowed to say, oh my gosh, the Fourth Ray Beauty Marula Oil cleared up my eczema. My eczema is now gone. I'm not allowed to say that. What I can do is I can show before and after pictures and say, oh my gosh, look how much better my skin looks. But I can't say it cured anything. I'm not allowed to do that. Anytime there's a change in the function of your body, that is considered a medical claim. Okay, we talked about this in the antiperspirant deodorant, natural deodorant journey video. So do you remember when I was talking about, if you saw that video, the difference between antiperspirant and deodorant? So a deodorant is just topical. It masks the stink. It just messes with the bacteria on top of your skin. That is not a medical thing, but the antiperspirant changes the function of your body. It actually stops your body from sweating. That is a medical claim. And if you are putting out an antiperspirant, you have to have it tested by the FDA and proved that it does do the medical thing that you're saying that it does. So it ends up with this thing that's really complicated. So I don't know how strict the FDA is gonna be on this. This is something that has been required by the FDA, not the FTC, but the FDA for a very long time, that these brands have to not make medical claims about their products. A lot of brands will do it anyway, but it's against the law. And the FTC seems to be a little more on top of it than the FDA. So people have to be really careful what claims they make about products. So now is the how. How do influencers have to do this at this point? So you have to make the disclaimer hard to miss. It has to be where people can see it. You can't put a teeny tiny print up in the corner like Ryan's Toys review got in trouble for. This teeny tiny print focusing on, 4-year-olds who can't even read yet, up in the corner of his video, and they don't even understand what sponsored means. That's a whole nother thing. They specifically say it can't be on an about page anywhere. It can't be below where you have to click more. more. So on YouTube, you know, you have like the top part of the video description, and then you have to do like see more to see the rest of it. It has to be in the top part. A lot of advertisers and companies will call it before the fold. So before you have to click more. For photos, the endorsement has to be in the picture. So if it's a PR sample, it has to say hashtag PR sample in the actual photo, which is something that I have to start doing because I don't normally do that. I usually put it just in the hashtags. You're not allowed to do that anymore. It has to be in the photo. If it's sponsored, it has to say hashtag sponsored or hashtag ad in the actual photo. If it's a video, the endorsement has to be in the video. It cannot no longer just be buried at the bottom. FTC, for this video, I partnered with so-and-so, all things are my own. You can't do that anymore. It has to be in the video. Now, they say that it's better to put it in text and verbally because sometimes people are just watching it, or maybe they're hearing impaired, or the other way, maybe they're visually impaired and they're not seeing things. So it's better to put it both verbally and visually, but you have to do one or the other. If you're talking about products in a live stream, and the whole live stream, let's say I did an entire live stream on these polishes, I would have to mention it multiple times during the video. I'm so glad that Kathleen sent me these nail polishes. Thank you, Kathleen, for sending me these nail polishes. I have to say it, you know, every once in a while to make sure that viewers that are just tuning in get that information. And then they talked about specific examples of things you can say. You can say, thanks for the free product. You can put advertisement, you can put ad, you can put sponsors. Ones that I use I'm thinking are probably okay are PR sample, gifted by, something that's very, very clear. PR sample, maybe not everybody knows what PR means, but I usually put PR sample and gifted. Now I'm gonna be starting to put gifted by and put the name of the brand as well, just to make sure. You can't use SP, I guess meant sponsored, or spawn, or collab, or ambassador. You can't use any of those. It has to be very clear what that means, because who knows what an ambassador is? Like, really and truly, does that say to everybody that it's sponsored or that the product was given for free? I don't think that it does. You're not allowed to just say ambassador anymore. They mentioned that it has to be in the same language as the endorsement, and you can't just use the platform's endorsement thing. So like YouTube has something that they can pop up on the screen for you. You can't just use that. I never use that because I think it looks kind of dumb. So I always say it, and a lot of times I'll put it in text too, especially with FabFitFun that I just filmed. That'll be up next. But this is the problem. Let's just break it down and be for real here. There's no listed consequences for when people do this. There's no listed consequences, but we all know that ignorance of the law or ignoring the law is not going to save you if a lawsuit does come up. I do know that when brands break rules with the FDA, not the FTC, but the FDA, that they do get a letter, basically like a cease and desist almost kind of letter, like you need to stop advertising this product like this. We talked about this in the CBD oil video, if you saw that one. You have to stop doing this because they were making these crazy medical claims, and they sent them a letter and they had to stop, or else they would bring some kind of lawsuit against the company if they didn't stop. So I would imagine maybe the FTC might do something like that. Maybe YouTube will start cracking down, giving channel strikes. It's going to be another thing that YouTube and Instagram and all the platforms are going to have to keep an eye on. The other thing I want to mention is, you know, we are in the day and age of cancel culture. We are in the day and age of, you know, you breathe the wrong way and you're canceled kind of thing. Of course, people get canceled for very, very serious things they absolutely should be canceled for. This is something I want you to keep in mind, because I know that people are going to want to go on a rampage with this. People are going to want to just blow up Instagram, blow up YouTube videos, blow up whatever, yelling at influencers that they're not following the new laws. This is my plea. It's possible, because YouTube, none of these platforms have put out, at least to my knowledge as of this date of filming, any kind of information to influencers about these laws. Just give people a little bit of a break for a minute. What you can do, what I would recommend you do, this is my recommendation, you do you, is to give them a link, one of the links that I'm listing down below. Let them know, say, hey, the rules have changed. You have, you know, the FTC says you have to do it this way now, just so you know. And then give them the link, kind of thing, instead of like just going all ham on them, yelling at them, tell them that, you know, that they're going to go to jail, and, you know, like, it just came out. So if you're watching this a year from now, that's another thing. But if you're watching this close to, you know, the date that I filmed this, which is in November of 2019, give people a little bit of a chance, you know, and let them know. Just to say, hey, you know, did you hear about the law? That's just my plea. You do what you want to do, but that's my plea. But what it comes down to, if we've learned anything from the original laws about influencers having to disclose sponsored videos, some people just aren't going to do it. They're just not going to do it. And unless somebody cracks down, unless, YouTube or Instagram or whatever, one of these platforms, or the FTC themselves cracks down, people are going to continue to skirt these laws. That's what it comes down to. They weigh their reward versus consequence, and a lot of people who do what I do for a living, they see the reward of not disclosing a sponsored video or, getting something in PR. They see that as being better than the chances that they may have some kind of consequence for it. I think that some influencers are under the false impression that most people will care. That you're doing a sponsored video or that you got something in PR. I think people can pretty much tell. People are smart. They can tell whether you're lying or not. I just tell people. I mean, that's just say it. That's my thing. Just say it. And I think at least the viewers that I've spoken to, people that I've talked about this, they seem to appreciate it more when people are honest up front about things like that. But everybody's got to make their own choices and deal with the consequences if they come down the pike. I just know I'm not going there. I'm going to make sure I do this as best as I possibly can. So at this point, my friends, it's your turn to chime in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness down in the comment section below. I would love to know what your thoughts are on what you think about these new laws. What do you think about these new rules? Do you think that they're necessary? Do you think YouTubers and Instagrammers and other influencers are going to follow these laws, or are they going to ignore them on the whole? What do you think? What do you think the consequences should be if someone does not do these things? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. That tells YouTube to share this with other people. And I do feel like this is a message that needs to be shared with every influencer, whether it comes from me or comes directly from the FTC. I feel like everybody needs to know this information, both viewers and people that create content. So feel free to share this on your social platforms. Also, if you'd like to hang out a little longer and watch another one of my videos, YouTube should be recommending a video for you down there for you to watch. I hope you absolutely loved this video. If you did, subscribe before you go. Mad love to you, and I will see you in a video very, very soon.